Hey, everybody.
Does everybody know what time it is?
It's go time.
Radio is theatre of the mind.
When I started, I used to do Frank Spencer of all people. You know, like,
Really?
oh, I didn't think I'd make it here tonight. You know.
My first game was on John Wall's fault. He's a killer, a brute, you know, from the old school, you know, back when football was football.
That's a whole nother topic.
Now, Ralph, I can rattle off a ton of them. There's a leprechaun. He tells me to burn things. I'm Idaho. When I grow up, I want to be a principal or a caterpillar.
Go Goodman. Go Goodman.
Go, good man.
Hey man, this is Austin St. John. I played Jason, the original Red Ranger.
Hi, I'm Karen Parsons. I played Hillary Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Hi, I'm Russell Gilbert.
Hi, I'm Piper Notes. I'm double to Jamie Alexander on NBC's Blind Spot.
Hi, I'm John Michael Howson.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Cherry, Australian sports broadcaster.
Yibba folks, this is Rex Hunt. I love all things fishing and football.
Hey, this is Nancy Cartwright. You might recognize me as, hi, I'm Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Listen to the Alain Go Goodman Show.
The Alain Go Goodman Show.
With Alain Goodman.
With Alain Goodman.
You're listening to Alain Goodman.
Because it's a good show.
That's right, it's not just a good show, it's a great show. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you to Alana and Matt for filling in for me 2 weeks ago. I always get a great intro from Simon, and Simon, you forgot to say thank you, Mother for the Rabbits, from the good old Darren Hinch. What a great show we have for you today. It's not just a good show, as Rex Hunt said, it's a great show. And in the first hour, we are talking to a good friend of the show. He's been on once before, late last year, and he's just come off a successful Melbourne International Comedy Festival run. He's about a month out of it, but he's been going all around the country with his show. Daniel Connell is in the studio. We'll be talking to him in the first hour. In the second hour, I'll share with you my intro with Frasier star Perry Gilpin. She played Ros Doyle in the hit NBC sitcom in the 90s, and that's a very fun interview. So sit tight, stay tuned. We're going to have a blast on a muggy Melbourne afternoon. That's right, good afternoon. Thank you again, Simon, for giving me the great intro as you do every fortnight. Great set of music you had right there, and some funky tunes leading in when I came in, which was really cool and got me pumped to go for my show. And again, thank you to Matt and Alana for filling in for me 2 weeks ago. But as I said, we do have a guest in the studio. Let's give him the intro he deserves.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the microphones, and they wanna know. Yeah, a fresh, cool young Lou, trying to cash his microphone check 212. Wanna believe my own hype, but it's too untrue. The world brought me to my knees. What if you brung you? Did you improve on the design? Did you do something new? Where your name in on the guest list? Who brung you? You, the more famous person, you come through, and the sexy lady next to you come to.
That's right, Daniel Connell is in the studio. Welcome, superstar. Hang on, hold on. Is that better? No, that's not better. Is that better?
Thanks very much, mate.
That's the one.
Got me live there now. Excellent.
Almost got it perfect.
You were going to get it eventually, I think.
Yeah.
There's
all right.
20 buttons there.
Let's get rid of Lupe so we can talk to Daniel, because he's a superstar as well. Thank you, Lupe Fiasco. There we go. Now, welcome.
Thanks, mate. It's good to be back. Thanks for having me on again.
Thank you for coming in this muggy Melbourne weather. It's horrible out here.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? But,
no, it's not great. So, first question on the list is, how is your comedy festival? You've done it for about 6 years now. Is that this year was your 6th year?
6th year doing, maybe 7th year doing the festival, but 5th solo show.
5th solo show.
Yeah. So,
and how does it compare?
This year was the best by a long way, actually. Feedback-wise, sales-wise, how I felt sort of through the whole run, it was definitely the best one I've had. But a big part of that was I was lucky to get a town hall venue, so that was a massive part of that because crowd-wise, it's sort of being in a town hall's worth 10 to 20 people a night without any effort sort of thing. So it makes a massive difference for your peace of mind when you go into the city each night knowing you've got some people coming rather than, I've had years gone by where I've been in a quieter venue and you've got 2 sales when you head into town and you're not sure if you're going to get 4 people, So going in knowing you've got at least 15 every night is a really nice thing. And just the show is much better for it because you're not thinking about sales 2 minutes before you walk on stage.
And who decides where you perform? Who makes that decision?
Yeah, so in October you put in what's called a festival managed venue application to the festival and they go through and put people where they think would suit them in time frames, and you do get to pick a preference. But, a lot of the time...
Will you go in the big room at the town hall?
yeah. 1,200 people might fill it once, and then 0 people for the rest of the 21 shows.
It's a one-off show.
Yeah,
You get guys like Limo that only do 3 shows.
Yeah, he did all the Mondays this year. I think he had a really good time just doing the Mondays. He's quite a busy man, so...
Yeah, so how did you get into the town hall? What was the struggle for you over the last 5 years?
Oh, it's not so much of a struggle. It's just earning your stripes, I guess. It's
Well, what's different about your person, I guess, than the last 5 or 6 years? Why did they say, "Yep, this is the year we're going to give Daniel Connell a show at the town hall"?
I would say it's I did a show called The Comedy Zone in 2011. 2011, I think it was, and that's a show that they handpick 5 acts from around Australia that they think are sort of new faces in Australian comedy. So I got picked in that, so that was a good start for me. And then I've been able to get festival managed venues every year. I've done a comedy festival show, but they just haven't been town hall. They've all been fine, and I've really enjoyed it. But I don't know. I don't know if they look at it and think, this is his 5th one. He probably should be ready to go into town hall now and be able to draw a good crowd and get a good run going. I think a big part of it is just earning your stripes and doing it for a number of years and getting to a point where, they think town hall's for you. Now, it's only a 60-seater as well, so it's not like I'm playing in a massive room. I've been in 60-seaters in other venues before, but it's still a 60-seater, but town hall is the big tick.
Now, if we go into your show, what was it called?
Resting Face.
Resting Face, that's the one. Your show was interesting for a couple of reasons. It was in about, as you said, a 60-seat room, which was good for the audience because it was kind of an interactive show. So you had a lot of tools apart from just talking to the audience, which you'd usually do for the big shows, or you'd talk to the first 2 rows, whatever, if you want to pick someone out. Would you have to make some changes if you did it in a bigger room, maybe get rid of the visual aids you used? We'll go into a bit more of the tools in a moment, but would you have to edit it if you got a bigger room?
Absolutely, yeah. I wrote that with everything in mind. I knew where I was going to be for Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Canberra. I knew the rooms I was going to be in, and they were all very similar, so I knew I could use those A3 laminated images.
Bring back memories.
Absolutely, I would not be. I'd probably need a projector or some sort of screen. I'd say if I was in anything bigger than 100, I would say you wouldn't be able to see it up the back. So
you knew what room you were going to be in before you wrote the show?
I knew I was going to be in a 60-seater. I didn't know exactly what the venue would be, but I knew it was going to be between 50 and 70 seats is what I always ask for.
And you got it this year.
Yeah.
What's been the different seats, like room sizes that you've been in?
The first solo show I did, I was in a 70-seater, but that was I got it last minute because they had to shuffle some people around, so it was way too big for, and I was getting 20s most nights. I've been in a 30-seater, a 40-seater.
Well, is 20 people in a 60-seat room, is that a bad thing? Or does it
it just depends on the shape of the room. Like the one I was in this year, 20 in there is fine because they push them up the front. But some rooms, depending on the shape, can be a bit strange with, and especially if people scatter out and don't sit up the front, can be a bit tough. Yeah.
And what else have you been? So has it usually been the 50, 60 mark, and just this year you were able to fill it up quite confidently.
Yeah. It was. I think I sold out of the 22 in Melbourne, maybe 7 or 8. I think, but it was averaging like 45 a night in the 60. So that was double my previous best. So.
Let's go a bit more into the techniques that you used. It wasn't just talking to the audience like most comedians do and just storytelling. I mean, there was repetition, visual aids, acting, an extra character, and flashbacks as well, which are always fun. How long does it take to design a show like that? Because it's not just straight up talking to the audience or telling stories. Where does the idea for that? Like, you're a writer as well. You've done writing before. Where do you come? Where do you get that think outside the box kind of mentality from?
I don't know. I always write a show thinking of the audience and thinking of what I would like to see as an audience member, I guess. And I really like shows personally where it's like I appreciate a stand-up comedian who can stand up for 60 minutes just with the microphone, nothing else, no sound cues, nothing, and entertain a crowd for an hour. Where I'm at in my career at the moment, I could probably do that, but I don't know if I would be able to keep everybody's attention for an hour. So I like to just break things up, added a few sketches to the show, visual things, and just a lot of callbacks, and just sort of keeping people focused and on their toes, and like to wrap everything up at the end, sort of, and make it all sort of make sense, and big reveals towards the end of the show as well. I don't know, it's just my own personal thing, but I started writing it in late last year, like probably around basically
before you came in. I think you came in here December. I think you came in. Was it before that? Yeah,
I'll write material, not targeted at anything, not writing towards a show. I'll just write material from sort of end of festival till maybe September, October when the application's open, and then I'll have a look at what I've got up to that point that I've worked around in rooms around Melbourne and around the place, and then I'll start to think, how can I make a show out of this? And last year it was great because I got a false police check in the mail, and the show really all came out of that. So I needed to get a police check done. It came back as another Daniel Connell in Adelaide who had broken various amounts of laws, and I freaked out. I was like, that's obviously not me, but it just gave me a great idea for a show. And a lot of the jokes I'd written up to that point fit into that idea. Then I just went from there, and then it's just basically writing drafts and coming up with different ideas and still working on other material outside of that and piecing it all together.
See, most people, if they find out someone's using their name, which is their name as well, but doing bad things with the name that you both share, they're most likely going to like write to the government or write to the police. But as a comedian, you say, "Hey, I could make a show out of this."
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that? Do you ever get scared, or is it always? That's good material.
Nah, it's good material first and foremost. If he's a criminal, he might want to attack me, but I'll just avoid him.
And you did find it. You did find him online, yeah?
I in the show I say that I looked up and found him on Facebook, but there might not be some truth to that.
Oh, you didn't really find him?
Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I did.
Oh no!
Don't want to ruin everything for you, mate.
Yeah, I want to buy the DVD. Is it going to come out on DVD?
No, I don't think so.
No. Do you have any DVDs?
No. I've sort of just held off doing anything like I don't know. I've held off doing anything like that, and also putting stand-up of mine online just for the first few years. I might do it in the future, but at the moment I don't have any interest in doing that. Just keep working on the act in live situations, and then maybe film like a 40-minute thing one day and just put up single jokes at a time, maybe onto YouTube or Facebook.
Yes, I reckon Resting Face would be a good show to put on DVD because it does have all those extra tactics.
Yeah.
It's not just talking to the audience.
Yeah. The only thing is you just need I probably couldn't do it. I'd need a very good venue and like great lighting and stage to do it. So, it's not like totally, I haven't totally ruled it out, that's for sure.
Yeah. are there many other comics that put that much thought into shows? Like, if you look at like guys like Limo, Husey, Peter Hellier, they all just talk to the audience. They use their voice really well, and they're just telling jokes. But there aren't a lot of guys out there that do use visual cues or flashbacks or anything like that. That I've seen.
There's a few. Like, it's just what you're feeling at the time. Like,
is it a popular way to go as opposed to just telling jokes?
I wouldn't say it's popular. I'd say just straight stand up, no cues, no visual aids is more popular than what I do at a festival. But I only really ever do that in a festival environment. I like it for a club set. If I had to do 30 minutes, I probably wouldn't use. I might have a couple of little props I might use, but it'd be majority just stand up, straight up and down with the mic, no cues. And I think like probably a big part for guys like Limo and Hellier and that is they're 20 years in as well, and they can fill an hour no dramas whatsoever with very good stuff. Where and they'd probably in a venue that's too big to do a lot of maybe little cues or little visuals if they wanted to do that.
Yeah, they'd need a projector. Like even Kevin Hart, he had like visual pictures in the background and stuff, and he was at Rod Laver Arena, but he had a big projector. Yeah,
and there's definitely something in like guys that are that experienced definitely have found their voice and their crowd and know what to write for, and I think it would be, I don't know if it would come easier to them, but they definitely know where they're at and know their target audience. Where myself, I'm 7 years in, I'm just sort of still figuring everything out and just trying to create my own style sort of thing. So for the moment, that sort of stuff works for me, but maybe in 7 years' time, I might look back at that and think, what was I doing cues for? Like, or sound cues or lighting changes, like when I could have just done a good solid hour of stand-up, But yeah, I think I'm just different in that I do enjoy breaking things up a bit. And the sketch side of things, I did a little bit of a sketch in last year's show, and then this year I was really keen to put a little bit more in, and that character idea came up, and then Matt, who played the guy, the cop was available.
Is he a comedian or just a good mate?
No, he was a stand-up. He was a stand-up. That's how I met him about 5 or 6 years ago, but he's an actor now, so he was always acting and doing stand-up, but he's sort of put all his time into acting now. He's getting some really good work around the scene, in the acting scene, so I was pretty lucky to get him for the entire, I think we did it 35 times around the different places, and we just finished up in Canberra on Friday night, actually, and he's fantastic. Matt Burton is his name, if you keep an eye out for him.
And just before we go to a sponsorship announcement break, did you really get caught with a fake gun at the airport? That part's true.
Absolutely, yeah. All the three big stories through the show of my brushes with the law are true.
Pushing a car off a cliff.
Yeah. It wasn't one of my better moments. I was like a, what do they call it?
Bogan.
That's not the word I was looking for, but yeah, right. I was in the passenger seat. I didn't actually push the car, but I was an accomplice. That's the word I was looking for.
Right.
The gun at the airport, I was heading to Sydney Fringe late last year, and I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, I only had carry-on, and I had the fake gun and the balaclava in my carry-on, and it was they confiscated both and gave me a pretty stern warning. But I was very, I don't know if I was half asleep that day, but for some reason I thought they would understand that it was for a comedy sketch, but no.
You should have sent it by post earlier. Anyway, let's go to a sponsorship announcement break. We'll play a song, Coldplay's Clocks, and then we'll come back and talk about the reviews from Daniel Connell's latest show, Resting Face, and get into a bit more about general comedy as well. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Alain Go Goodman Show at 21 minutes past 2. Welcome back to the Alain Go Goodman Show with live guest Daniel Connell. Thank you, Coldplay. Always a pleasure. I'd love to go see a band like Coldplay, but I'm scared I'd fall asleep.
Wow.
But they'd be such a good band to see.
Well,
have you seen Coldplay?
No, I probably wouldn't. I didn't mind them early days. Oh,
Yeah, see,
actually,
the early music was pretty, is good, but it's kind of like lullaby-ish.
Yeah.
Like that.
if someone bought me a ticket, I'd go, actually. To a big,
Okay.
like to Etihad. You'd struggle to fall asleep. It'd be,
Yeah.
even though they're like a softer style of music, they're pretty loud.
It's same with, like, U2 would be a band, but if they come
Yeah.
out again, I'd go see them just for the experience.
Same. Yeah, absolutely. I'd go see them too.
Who have you seen lately?
Lately?
Any music? Last time you came on, I was about to go see AC/DC, wasn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, so I got a T-shirt.
I have seen AC/DC.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw them the time before I did, I think.
Yeah. I think last time I said that I saw them in Melbourne, but it was actually in Sydney at the big stadium, Australia.
ANZ?
Yeah, the big Olympic Stadium. It was awesome.
Oh, the one that's miles out of the city.
Yeah.
I went there for footy. I was like, why the hell does it take 40 minutes to get to the biggest stadium in the state?
Yeah. I can't even remember what the last live music I saw was. It's a good question.
That's got nothing to do with comedy.
Yeah.
I'm full of them.
I think working so much you don't get the chance. I have seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers a lot of times live.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Real good.
No one lately?
No.
Oh.
No.
You must be saving your money.
Modest Mouse, have you heard of Modest Mouse? They were here not long ago. I was going to go and then I had a gig and I had to pull out.
Did they pack up Margaret Court? Or where were they?
They were going to be there, yeah. I think it was Margaret Court, one of those, or Rod Laver, one of those two.
Would they fill up Rod Laver?
What's the size difference?
15,000 at Rod Laver. And Margaret Court's probably, I think High Sense is about half of that.
Yeah.
And then Margaret Court would be about 5,000.
Yeah, maybe it was Margaret Court then.
They've started doing concerts there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now, where are we up to? Now, reviews. Was there a difference in reviews or audience reaction compared to your older shows? Like, are you someone that reads reviews? Or that doesn't mind getting reviews?
It's hard not to read them, put it that way, because someone will talk to you about it even if you haven't seen it. You'll have someone say,
like me.
Well, you just can't avoid it, like, because you're around. If you go to town hall to flyer, or you'll see someone that's read it, or so. I don't.
Well, what's the standout review that you've heard of your show over your career? Or whether it's good or bad, or the one that stuck out, whether it's funny or the language was weird?
I got a real bad one, my first ever solo show that I remember, and I have printed out that I keep.
Do you remember the language they used?
Just things like.
Eat burnt toast? No.
Well, worse than that.
Really?
No, it was just like seeing it all before. Punchlines you could drive how obvious they were, and I remember I walked on stage for that. This is my first ever solo show, so I'm like 2 years into comedy, and this person comes in thinking, reviewing me as if I'm a 20-year veteran for some unknown reason, and I started with the line, "Oh, you've seen me before, I'm famous." Not famous for stand-up, famous for, like, fraud or something. Or, just something like that. I had a throwaway line to start, and it always got, like, a bit of a laugh off the start. And then I read the review and it says, "Daniel came on stage and declared that we were seeing him before he's famous. He's got another thing coming." I just took it totally out of context. And I was like, God. So it's kind of good, though, because getting that was my first review, and it was a stinger, and it's the worst one I've had by far. But it's kind of good to get that straight away. It makes you realise just... how objective comedy is, and not to... A lot of comedians get a bit wrapped up in them, and around festival time you'll often see a retaliation at a reviewer via Twitter or Facebook. There's no point. I don't see the point in doing that,
Well, have you been reviewed by that person again?
No, I don't think so. I haven't.
So where have they gone?
I'm not quite sure.
Oh.
Not quite sure. But I had a good one from the Herald Sun this year, and you get 4 stars, and you can use that on posters and whatever. But I don't hold them in too high regard to reviews. I'm much bigger on getting people in, advertising, getting people in. Hopefully, people that see me around Melbourne and in the 12 months leading up to each festival, or have seen me in a previous festival, they come in. I try and have a really good show, and they tell their friends. That's my main. I don't think for someone like me, that for. I don't. People look online on the Herald Sun, so you're looking for reviews. You kind of look at people you know, like you probably look at names you've heard of to read a review. I don't think too many people are reading my review and coming as a result, or not coming as a result. But yeah, if I get a bad one, you just bite your tongue. Who cares? You're not going to please everyone.
So what about audience reaction? How has that developed over the years? Like,
yeah.
Obviously you performed to more people this year.
Yeah, it's getting better, but I think just because the shows are getting better, which should happen with progression and doing more gigs and working out how to write a show properly. So this year, I think being in Town Hall, plus it being a good show, got really good. I've got a couple of good reviews, but got good word of mouth from people. And I hand things out like fridge magnets or pens after the show, and just get people to hopefully
I've got
tweet.
a magnet on my filing cabinet.
Get people to sort of tweet or tell a friend. And I just noticed in ticket sales each week there would be more and more pre-sales, and obviously people were passing it on and telling their friends and coming as a result. So that's my main target, is to get that sweet word of mouth going.
So if you're in the Town Hall, marketing-wise, is it easier or harder to market yourself when you're in the Town Hall as opposed to some pub on the corner of Burke Street and somewhere else?
Yeah, a million times easier, yeah.
Because does the Town Hall help you with marketing?
The Town Hall itself doesn't, but the fact that you've written Town Hall on your poster and flyer is huge.
Right.
Because the festival started there 30 years ago, so it's always been the main hub. So if you ask anyone, Melbourne Comedy Festival, and you say Town Hall, it's, hand in hand. So, like I say, yeah, it was worth 10, 15 people a night. And then I had a friend flyering for me, my friend Hammy, who is just a gun, last name Goodman, actually. And
really?
Yeah.
He used to work at Sin.
Yeah, that's him.
I think, I know. I haven't met him before, but I know of him.
Yeah, that's him. He's a gun flyer and just can talk to anyone, and fantastic. And he was getting 10 people a night in for me as well. Right. So that plus the Town Hall was fantastic.
How do you know Hammy?
He's from. So I met him in Canberra. He's a Canberra man.
Right. You all know each other in Canberra.
Yeah. And he used to come to stand up there, and he actually supports the same rugby league team as me. So we often catch up and watch the footy.
Right. Are you into AFL yet?
I don't mind it. When I moved here, I picked the Demons, and they're going okay.
Yeah. Have you been to a game yet?
I have been to a few.
Cool.
I went to a real good one, maybe, this is a few years ago now, maybe 2011, Hawthorn Geelong at the G. It was awesome.
Have you been to a good Melbourne game lately?
I went to, they beat last year. It was like a really low-scoring game. It was kind of wet. I can't remember who they beat, but they were expected to win, but it was like 63-60 or something.
Just one?
Yeah.
Expected to win last year? What game were you at? How many other shows did you get to go see this year? I know you like going to all different kinds of shows, so how many did you get out to this year?
I reckon I saw 10 to 15, I think. A lot of friend shows, like who would come to my show, and then, you often will get a friend say, oh, can you come to my media night? Or so you go and just try and help them fill their crowd up. I saw Pajama Men again. I always like seeing them when they come out. And their show was sort of like a best of at the Spiegel tent. And it was real good. Yeah, it was one of my favourites. I saw...
There was one guy that was talking about The Simpsons. I think I've had his name written down in my phone. I can't... Oh, excuse me. Wow, I didn't know that would come out on air.
Have you got a burp button?
No, we don't have a delay button. So go on, who else did you see? And I'll try and find his name.
I saw friends. I saw like Nick Kappa, as a local Melbourne stand-up. Luke Heggie from Sydney, who's a good friend. Stand-up show. They were both great. I saw a show called No Show, which is a couple of guys called Xavier Michaelides and Ben Russell from Melbourne. And they, it's a sketch show, and it was fantastic.
There, that's the poster.
Oh, right, Yanni. Yeah, I didn't see that one.
It
does look like a... what's the surname? Yeah, I think he's...
It's also not good to bump your headphones into the mic.
Oh, sorry, man.
I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't hear anything. Did it make a big noise?
Yeah.
Apologies to the listeners at home. No, I didn't see that. I think I have heard of him though. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go see. I might look him up on YouTube. Yeah. So, anyone else notable? Like, do you go to the bigger shows as well? Or just to like your mates as well?
Yeah,
or just
and
your
like
mates?
if someone's got a lot of buzz, if everybody's talking about a show, I might try and see it, or because we get a pass and you can get in for free
to any show.
Yeah, but obviously they sell out, you don't get in. So I did think about buying a couple of tickets to Auntie Donna because their show was getting. They were doing extra shows and it was just going crazy. And then one night they were at the Hi-Fi bar and we could get in. We were allowed to stand at the back. So I saw that and that was real good. Have you heard of those guys? Yeah,
no.
Yeah. You have a look at their YouTube.
What's their name again?
Auntie Donna.
Auntie Donna.
Yeah, three guys. It's sketch and very, very good. They're sort of blowing up at the moment on. They've got a Comedy Central. Like a little sketch series going at the moment for Comedy Central Australia, and yeah, they've got a massive following.
Do you think you'll get onto the gala next year?
Nah.
No? What's the process in getting onto the gala?
I manage everything myself. I'm all self-managed. I've had people watch me in the last couple of years from big management places, I guess, but until I don't think you...
Have they offered you anything?
No.
No, not yet?
No. But I guess, yeah, I just got to get good enough to be managed, and that's the big part of getting on galas. You need to be with sort of one of the 2 or 3 top management agencies.
Token, Profile, and is there another one?
Century in Sydney is quite big. Yeah, so you if you can get in with those guys, that's your chances of getting on a gala are magnified greatly.
Right, so have you got kind of like a timeline when you're going to get managed?
I quite enjoy doing everything myself at the moment. Like I'm able to live off it and everything. But if either of them asked me, I'd jump at the chance. Opportunities wise, are much greater. But obviously, you just got to get good enough. I'd probably. I don't know. I'd like to. Think that sort of by the 10-15 year mark, I'm.
10-15, wow, that's a long way down the track still.
It is.
Yeah,
but I'm not going anywhere. I'm willing to wait it out.
Live on baked beans and 2-minute noodles till then. So have you started, you've just finished performing Resting Face around the country? Or have you still got more gigs for it? No, it's done. We finished in Canberra. I think it was like the 35th or 34th, 35th time we did it. I thought you were going to say the 35th of this month. What? Come along. So it's done now. So have you started preparing next year's show? I have no idea what I'm going to do next year, but I've started writing new material. Just look forward to see what happens. Can we have a little taste if you've got like a one-liner joke or something? Or is it more stories? The new joke I wrote the other day is about how Stacks On has been banned at schools, and my nephew was really disappointed, and that Stacks On made me the man I am today, which is a very anxious man who often looks over his shoulder. But lucky for my nephew, we do Stacks On at family events, so he's not going to miss out. And Nan hates it, but she started it. Yeah, something along those lines. It's just like kind of weird. Like it's just stupid, but it's funny. There are a few American comedians coming to perform this year. I just found out about a few. Are you going to see any big comedians that are coming out this year? I know Kevin Hart's been out. A guy called Sebastian Maniscalco's coming out. Would have liked to have seen him, but I didn't even know he was coming out. I've got to be honest with you, I don't watch much other stand-up. I probably wouldn't go. If I got tickets or something given to me, I would go. But you just don't have time. When they're here, I'd more than likely have a gig. So, and like every gig I go to through the week, like if you're doing 4 or 5 gigs a week, I would watch, there's probably you're watching 20 to 30 other comedians then at the nights I'm at. So I'm watching a lot of stand-up. So when I've got a night off, I don't really feel like
paying to go and watch stand-up. It's probably the last thing I do.
If I can get into stand-up for free, why would I go and pay to see more stand-up?
Yeah. So I'd rather watch the footy or just do something that's not stand-up related, yeah.
Just like a break.
Yeah.
Does it get intense for you when you're either watching someone else analyse the world or you have to analyse the world in the process of trying to make a joke?
Sometimes you can get a bit, you might not be able to come up with anything for a week and you're just writing things and you're trying them and they're just not working. But I don't know, I just feel like if you just keep writing, it comes eventually. Like I probably keep 1 in 10 jokes that I write. So, yeah, I've just got to make sure that I'm writing a lot to be able to sort of find bits of gold in there, I guess.
Let's go to a quick break, maybe a song, and we'll come back and wrap it up with Daniel Connell on the Alain Go Goodman Show, 17 minutes to 3. Welcome back to the Alain Go Goodman Show as we wrap up with Daniel Connell and tick closer to 3 o'clock. Daniel, where can people find you? Daniel, are you a Danny kind of person? You don't seem like a Danny kind of person.
My dad's Danny. He's Daniel as well, but yeah, he gets called Daniel.
Yeah.
Danny, sorry. And yeah, I don't mind what people call me.
DC.
Yeah, call me what you want. For comedy purposes, I always say Daniel because that's what I set my website up as, so I can't change that now.
So you do all your website stuff as well?
Oh, I have a friend in Canberra that helps me out a fair bit with that stuff. Him and his partner created it for me. Yeah. And they do a lot of the updates still for me. So it's www.danielconnell.com.au. And
were you lucky to get that address?
I don't think so. No, I think I was the only one. Yeah, only one going for it. There is actually a Daniel Connell artist that is at danielconnell.net, I think, and he's quite good.
A comedians, not artists.
Yeah, true. Oh, sorry, a painter, I should say.
Oh.
Yes.
Is he from Adelaide?
No.
Where's he?
He might be.
Do you know where
I've
he's
never
from?
actually checked it. What if it's him and he's got the criminal background?
Do you know where the artist is from, the painter?
No, I'll have to look it up. Imagine if the paintings were just me.
All right, so while you talk, we'll look it up.
Yeah, cool.
We'll Google your name while you talk. So where else can people find you?
I've got a Facebook page, which is Daniel Connell Comedy, and you can get on there. I put videos and sort of put a few jokes up through the week.
You're the top one. Oh, here we go, danielconnell.net.
Yeah.
Well, you're the top one on Google, so that's all that matters. Yeah. Hang on.
And I do.
Are they?
They're his paintings, yeah.
They're his paintings or they're him?
No, they're his paintings. Right. That's him standing in front of it.
So that's him. He kind of looks like you.
Yeah.
So that's, we'll find out.
Yeah, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram and all those sort of things as well.
Yeah, and have you got any gigs coming up in Melbourne?
Yeah, I'm at Funny at the Brunny this Monday, the 6th.
I want to go to that because I know that's Ash's place, but it's so far away. Is it near a train station?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know that side of town very well. But it is, it's not too bad. I've got a car. But then Tuesday I'm at Catfish Comedy, which is in Fitzroy.
Same side of town.
Same side of town on Gertrude Street. What else am I this week?
Are you going to be at... Oh, my God, his name's just slipped my mind. Hang on. Are you going to be at Gabriel Rossi's 20th anniversary?
When's that?
Comics Lounge, end of June?
Possibly. Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but for June, you can check the gigs page on the website, but I'm just mainly around Melbourne now for the next month, working on the new stuff.
Okay, well, so this other Daniel Connell, I think he's based in Australia.
That pin looks like it's in Adelaide.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty good.
Can we get a map? Oh, my God, it is.
Wow.
He's based in Adelaide, so do you reckon it's the same guy?
Possibly. Maybe he's turned to painting after his criminal past. I have a feeling it's not, because that guy doesn't look... It's the same date of birth as me, which is 83. I don't think that guy looks like he was born in 83.
So should we Google Daniel Connell criminal?
I don't know about that.
Daniel Connell Crawford? No? Well, this is fun.
You should maybe interview him, the criminal one.
Yeah, if I can find him. Yeah, no, it's all you. That's good. Fontanelle? No, I think it's mostly... degree in Spanish language and Latin American studies.
Yeah, that's me as well.
Yep, of course. Flinders University, which is in Adelaide.
Oh, boy.
Wow, there's a few Daniel Connells in Adelaide. Anyway, DC, thank you for coming in. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me again.
And yeah, no, any time, and yeah, have you close to the end of the year when you start getting your
I'll check in again.
Getting your act
December.
together.
Easy peasy.
Cool.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, so we're going to go into the second hour. I'm going to play my interview with Frasier star Perry Gilpin. She played Roz, and I'll hit you up with part 1 right now on the Alain Go Goodman Show, 88.3 at 6 minutes to 3.